Hello everyone. So if you are preparing for an SDET interview, this video is going to be a total game changer for you. So today we are just not talking about answers, we are diving into the right way to answer. What you should say, what you must avoid, and most importantly, why some answers might sound okay but actually hurt your chances. I will also walk you through the high impact interview questions, the ones that are literally make or break your selection. These are the questions that separate average candidate from the one who get the offer. So let's get started with the questions. So the first question that was asked in the recent EY interview was, what is the strategy to start failure analysis from the day one itself in the current release? So what does this means? Failure analysis in QA refers to the process of investigating and understanding why a test case failed during the execution. It's not just about logging a bug, it's about finding the root cause of the failure. The failure could be due to script issues, application bugs, environment or config problems, test data issues. So, what you must avoid, you cannot say we analyze failures at the end of the sprint. We just rerun failed test cases to see if they pass. We ignore failures that happens occasionally. So you cannot say these kind of questions. These may reduce the chances of your selection. Instead of this, you can say from day one, we set up proper logging and reporting like exchange reports that we use, categorize failures and review them daily to catch regressions, flaky tests, or system issue early. We also maintain a failure dashboard to track trends. By this answer, you can impress your interviewer. Okay, second question. How can you calculate ROI of automation? So, first, what is ROI? ROI in test automation means measuring the value like time or cost of automation against the efforts and cost invested. It helps in understanding whether automation is actually beneficial or not. So what is the formula to calculate ROI? It is manual effort saved minus automation effort divided by automation effort. And this question may interviewer may also ask you this question in different way like this: how do you prove that automation adds measurable value to the project? So what do you not to say? First, we don't track ROI. Automation always saves time. We never need to calculate it. Instead of this, what you should say: we calculate ROI based on how frequently a test is executed, the time saved per run compared to manual testing and maintenance effort. This helps justify automation, coverage, and investment. Now, the third question: how do you assign work when you have senior and junior team members? So, by this question, what they want to understand: how do you distribute tasks in a balanced way to maximize productivity and learning? So, what you should avoid saying: I give all critical work to senior. I let them choose their task. I do all the critical tasks myself. What instead of this, you should say: I allocate advanced or critical tasks to senior members who can handle complex logics or architectural aspects, while I assign well defined modular tasks to junior members with clear guidance and documentation. Also, you can say, to support collaboration and continuous improvement, I encourage pair programming, structured code review, and regular sync ups to ensure alignment and foster growth. So, now coming to question number 4. As a lead QA, what is your checklist for code review? So, as you know, we are discussing about the experience range 4 to 6. So, this kind of question might hit you. So, as a lead QA, what is the checklist for code review? Code review helps ensure that automated tests follow standard of readability, reusability, structure, and stability. It catches issue before merging. So you have to keep all these keywords: readability, reusability, structure, and stability. If you include all these keywords in your answer, then you are going in the right direction. So what you must not say, if it works, it is fine. I don't care about naming or structure. I trust my team, so I skip detailed reviews. Instead of this, what you should say, I check for clean code, reusable methods, proper naming, POM use, page object model use, no hard coded data, effective logging, exception handling, meaningful assertions. So this is the ideal answer for this kind of questions. If you are doing code reviews on daily basis, then based on your experience also you can share your answer. Make sure that readability, reusability, these are the four pillars of code review. So include these four terms in your answer. Now coming to question number 5th, how to perform cross-browser testing. So cross-browser ensures that web application works correctly across multiple browsers and versions. So what you should not say, we test only on Chrome, we test manually on other browsers. We have not done cross-browser testing yet. But instead of this, if you say this, we use Selenium Grid or cloud platforms like BrowserStack, Lambda Test with WebDriver Manager to run tests across different browsers in parallel. Then this will give a right impression of you. Now coming to question number 6, how can you execute failed test cases without manual intervention? That is retry mechanism. So first understand what is retry mechanism. Retry mechanism allows failed tests to automatically re-execute a set number of times before being marked as failed, often used to handle flakiness. So you should avoid saying we run manually. We ignore flaky test, we run the full suit again. But the right answer for this question would be we use TestNG iTry Analyzer or similar retry logic to auto rerun fail test with logs and reporting integrated to track stability. Now coming to question number 7. What is the topmost interface in Selenium? So in Selenium, interfaces define the core methods and behavior that browser drivers and test scripts must follow. So for this, you should avoid saying WebDriver is the topmost. I'm not sure. I just used Chrome driver. Interface, I never checked. But you should say the topmost interface in its search context, which is extended by WebDriver. It provides the base method like find element and find elements. So this is the right answer for this question. If interviewer asks you to explain further, then you can explain this topic in a further manner. But if not, then this is the perfect answer for this question. Okay. Now coming to question number 8. How do you pick test cases which are prone to defects? So first, prone to defect test cases are scenarios likely to fail due to recent changes, complex logics, or unstable module. This question can also be asked in a different way. How? Like this. How do you identify risky areas in the app to focus testing? So, avoid saying all the tests are equally important. We test everything the same way. We pick randomly. So you should not say like that. But you should say, we use past defect data, complexity of the feature, recent code changes, developers' input to the prioritize defect-prone areas. So this is the ideal answer of this question. And based on your experience, like whatever you are facing in your daily life, you can answer depending on your experience also. Now coming to question number 9. Can you determine total execution time including mocks or test data setup? So total execution time refers to calculating the time taken and end to end, not just test execution, but including setup time for mocks, stubs, test data, etc. This question can also be asked in a different way. How do you track the complete time needs to run test with setup? So you should avoid saying we don't include setup times. Only test cases matter, not mocks. We never measured full duration. But instead of this, you should say, we measure execution time from the point the pipeline triggers to final report generation. This includes mock server, boot time, test data setup via APIs or DB scripts, and actual test run. This is the ideal answer for this question. Now coming to question number 10. How do you identify the test cases that can be automated? This question can come to you in many different ways. If you are a fresher, if you have 2 years of experience, even this series is for up to 6 years experience. Now also they are asking this question. So you should understand the importance of this question. So you should avoid saying we automate everything. This is not the right answer. Many of the people answer like this, but you should not say, because by this interviewer will never tell you like you are answering wrong, but they will just give you the marks on the basis of your answer, and they will create the image of you in their mind like whether you are selected or not. So please make sure that whatever answer you are giving from the very start, whether it's a small question, it's a very easy question, take time and give answer in a very professional and proper way. Do not panic. Do not just give answer in a very quick way just to give answer. Think properly, listen properly, and then give the answer. Okay. Whatever developer asks, we automate. This should not be the answer. This does not show any professionalism. What you should answer? We look for stable, repeatable, high regression risk, and frequently executed test cases with clear expected outcomes. You should say this. Now, question number 11. How to execute all failed test cases at once after initial execution? So, rerun failed test refers to collecting failed test cases, result from one execution, rerunning them together, typically using test framework or CI/CD tools. Can also be asked in this way: how do you rerun only the failed test in the next run automatically? This is a very important question, and I am going to make a full video on this topic in detail. But for the interview answer, you should keep it crisp and give answer like, we use TestNG's TestNG failed.xml feature, or rerun failed scenarios via tools like Cucumber rerun plugin or Jenkins job chaining. This saves time and helps isolate unstable test case. Okay, coming to question number 12. In EVA interview 2025, they have asked, write a Java program for given strings are anagram or not. So first they have given me this string str1 tomato and str2 mato. So first you need to understand what is anagram string, and after understanding this, you need to check whether these two given strings are anagram or not. I have created a detailed video in which I have explained step by step which approach you should follow. At each step, I have explained in detail like why we are following this step, what will be the outcome. So you will get a better understanding of this question. So you can refer to that video. Go to my channel and search for the Core Java Interview Question playlist. So further in this video, I am going to discuss about the high impact questions like I told you earlier. So high impact questions are the one that can make or break your interview. So first is coding skills. At the end of the day, an SDET is a developer only in the testing world. Your coding skills show whether you can write clean automation, debug failures, build frameworks, and contribute like a dev. If you write poor code, the whole automation suite becomes unstable over the time. So they test this very seriously. So if you are not scoring in Selenium TestNG, or if you are 6 on 10, they will consider. But if you are 8 on 10 in coding skills, then your chances of selection are much higher. So I must recommend focus on your coding skill. If you are working with Python, go for it. If you are working for Java, then prepare the string concepts, array concepts, and make sure that you are following up with the trends that are going. Get involved in the community, what has been asked in previous interview. Ask your friends for the questions or the topics you should prepare. So by this way only you can prepare for coding round. Okay, next is product understanding. Now this doesn't mean you need to know their company's product inside out. You haven't even joined yet, so how can you know inside out things? Of course not. So, what they really want is to see whether you had a deep understanding of the product you worked on in your previous role. And here is the one bonus tip: if you have taken time to read about their product before the interview, it shows real interest. So sometimes company ask, why do you want to join us? What is our company goal? Do you know, is does your goals are aligned with our goals? So in that case, you should at least do some research for the company, I would say. Okay, next is introduction and domain experience. This is where everything begins. So, your introduction creates your first impression. As I have mentioned this many times, and it gives interviewer a sense of how well you understand the projects you have worked on, what kind of business domain you have been in, like banking, e commerce, healthcare, etc., and how you have contributed to product quality, not just by writing automation scripts, but by understanding the bigger picture. This is also a chance to highlight your core skills like tech stack, tools, strength, and mindset in a way that aligns with the role. If you confidently mention your experience in like Selenium, Java, API testing, or any other lead level responsibilities if you have taken, it shows you are not just hands-on, but you also aware of where you add value to their company as well as in your company you have done work. A strong intro can set a direction of the entire interview towards their strength and expertise. And I have made a one detailed video on this introduction. You can refer my this video. I have explained everything, the key points, the four pillars of introduction. Like your introduction should be based on those four keys. If you're missing out on this question, I would say you should prepare for this question like any other coding question, because this will help you to crack your interview. This will be your first impression, as we all know, first impression is the last impression. Please refer to this video, and in this video I have given you one template that you can edit and use for your interview. Please go and check and let me know if you have any doubts. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and this video helps you out in any way, then please let me know in comments. If you have any doubt, then also please let me know in comments. I will surely try to resolve all your queries. Please go for it.